Doedicurus. Let's start with one nobody saw coming. Meet the Doedicurus, a South American mammal that looked exactly like an armadillo, if the armadillo had been to the gym, for 10,000 years, and then weaponized itself. This thing was 4 meters long, 2 tons, covered head to toe in a solid bone shell so thick it could deflect a rifle round. And then, because apparently nature wanted to flex, it had a tail, a long, flexible tail ending in a giant ball of spikes, like real spikes. We have found fossils with healed dents in their armor, which means Doedicurus males regularly fought each other by swinging spiked clubs at each other's heads, casually. Now picture this thing walking through modern Argentina. Farmers wake up, their fences flattened, their tractor flipped, their cornfield mowed by a 4-ton tank with a war hammer for a tail. You can't shoot it. It's bulletproof. You can't trap it. It weighs 2 tons. You can't even outrun it on rough ground because it's surprisingly fast. Agricultural insurance just collapsed. Welcome to the apocalypse, brought to you by a giant armadillo. It only gets worse. Megalania. Now drop one in Australia. As if Australia needed help. Meet Megalania, a lizard that looks like the Komodo dragon got hold of growth hormone. The Komodo today already kills people. 3 meters long, septic saliva, slow patient hunter. Now imagine the same animal, same hunting style, but 7 meters long. 600 kilos of armored, venomous reptile that walked the Australian outback while early humans were already living there. That's not a guess, by the way. Megalania went extinct around 50,000 years ago. Aboriginal Australians coexisted with this thing. Their oral histories include giant reptile monsters, and we used to assume those were myths. We don't assume that anymore. Now picture Megalania showing up in modern Queensland. The tourism industry? Gone. Outback hikes? Over. Every remote camping experience in the country becomes Russian roulette. And it's not even fast enough to chase you, which is worse. The Komodo waits. It bites once, then follows you for days while its venom does the work. Now imagine that animal, double the size, knowing you can't outrun it forever. Australia survived snakes, spiders, drop bears, jellyfish. Croc has been awake since prehistoric times waiting for you to subscribe. Don't make him wait another 30,000 years. Megatherium. Now picture a sloth. The slow, smiling internet favorite. Aw, look at the little guy sloth. Now grow it to 6 meters tall. Make it weigh 4 tons. Give it claws the size of swords. Congratulations. You just made the Megatherium, also known as the giant ground sloth. This thing existed until about 10,000 years ago. Which means, yes, humans coexisted with a 4-ton sloth. There are cave paintings of it. Early Americans definitely saw this animal and probably regretted it. Megatherium ate plants mostly, but mostly is doing heavy lifting in that sentence. Some scientists believe it also scavenged kills, using those sword claws to scare off saber-toothed cats from carcasses. So it wasn't just big, it was willing. Now drop Megatherium into a modern national park, Yellowstone, Iguachu, anywhere. Tourist trail, closed, forest, disassembled. It could pull down full-grown trees just to reach leaves. And here's the worst part. Sloths today move slow because they have no predators. Megatherium had no predators that survived. It would just walk through your camping trip in slow motion, indifferent, inevitable. Imagine a sloth-shaped bulldozer. That's the dream. Now add wings. Haast's eagle. Now we go to New Zealand. And we add wings. Meet the Haast's eagle, the largest eagle that has ever existed. 2.5-meter wingspan, 15 kilos of pure predator, with talons the size of a tiger's claws. And here's the part that will ruin your day. This bird went extinct around the year 1400, 600 years ago. Your great-great-great-grandparents lived in a world where this thing was still hunting. And here's what it hunted. Moa. Flightless birds 3 meters tall and 230 kilos. Haast's eagle would dive at them at around 80 kilometers per hour and kill them on impact, with its feet like a feathered missile. Maori oral history describes a giant bird called Te Hokioi that occasionally carried off children. We used to call that legend. We don't anymore. Drop this eagle into modern Auckland today. Suburban backyards? Not safe. Schoolyards? Not safe. Anything smaller than a Labrador? Gone. Pet insurance becomes its own emergency. Light aircraft would actively avoid certain valleys because something keeps hitting the canopy. The dream isn't a bigger bird. It's a bird that decided humans were snack-sized. Now bring it to ground level and make it human-sized. Gigantopithecus. Actually, bigger than human-sized. Meet Gigantopithecus, the largest primate that ever existed. 3 meters tall, standing upright, around 540 kilos. Basically a real-life King Kong that walked Southeast Asia until roughly 100,000 years ago. Read that again, 100,000 years ago, which means Gigantopithecus shared this planet with early Homo sapiens. Our ancestors looked up at this thing in the forest and made decisions about whether to fight, hide, or worship it. We don't know which one they picked, but every culture in that region has stories about giant apes in the jungle, and now we know those weren't all imagination. Now picture Gigantopithecus in modern Borneo, or northern India, any tropical zone where it could survive. Ecotourism, done. Logging operations, abandoned. The Bigfoot is real community wins the most Pyrrhic victory of all time because the actual Bigfoot is real, and now it lives near a Starbucks. Every cryptid hunter on Earth becomes immediately, retroactively correct. Bigger, hairier, even angrier. Arctotherium. What happens when you give a bear the South American gym membership? Meet Arctotherium, the short-faced bear of South America, largest mammal predator that ever walked the Earth. We're talking 3.5 meters tall when standing, 1,600 kilos. Top speed estimated at around 60 kilometers per hour. To put that in human terms, it's a polar bear that's been doubled in size and given the legs of a horse. Arctotherium went extinct around 11,000 years ago, meaning our ancestors walked into the Americas and met this thing personally. We have indigenous oral traditions describing a giant bear in early South American mythology. As usual, we used to dismiss those as legend. As usual, we shouldn't have. Drop Arctotherium into a modern national park. Ranching collapses, it would eat full-grown cattle. Camping ends. Your tent is a snack wrapper. Mountain trails close? It's faster than you uphill, downhill, and across rivers. The grizzly bear, the apex predator of North America today, would actually be on the menu. We invented Alpha Predator. Arctotherium was already wearing the title. Out of the woods. Into the water. Sarcosuchus. And now freshwater. Civilization's last safe zone. Meet Sarcosuchus. Sometimes called Super Croc, for reasons that'll become obvious. This was a crocodile-like reptile that lived in African rivers about 110 million years ago. 12 meters long, 8 tons, bigger than a city bus. And yes, I'm related. Distantly. Don't make this weird. Sarcosuchus had a snout almost 2 meters long, with around 130 teeth designed to grab and not let go. And here's what it ate. Dinosaurs. Not small ones either. Sarcosuchus would sit in African rivers waiting for full-sized dinosaurs to come drink. Then it pulled them into the water, whole. Now place Sarcosuchus into a modern Amazon, the Nile, the Mississippi, any major freshwater system. River cruises, done. Hydroelectric maintenance, over. The piranha and the alligator, now they're snacks too. Every river community in the world has to be relocated. Fresh water, the resource humans depend on most, becomes a hunting ground. The ocean is dangerous. The desert is dangerous. We used to think water from the river meant safety. Sarcosuchus disagreed. And for number 1, save your screams. Andrewsarchus. And here it is. Number 1. You won't recognize this name. That's the point. The one that would break the world most is the one almost nobody knows. Meet Andrewsarchus, a mammal predator that lived around 40 million years ago in what is now Mongolia. We have one fossil, a skull, 83 centimeters long, about 3 times the size of a lion's skull. From that single skull, paleontologists estimate the full animal at around 4 meters long, possibly the largest mammalian land predator that ever existed. We don't know exactly what it looked like. We don't know exactly what it hunted. We don't know exactly how it moved. We just know it had a head the size of a couch and teeth designed to break bone. Every other entry left a body. Andrewsarchus left a warning. Drop this thing into the modern world and apex predator becomes a meaningless phrase. Lions, tigers, polar bears leveled below it. Every wildlife reserve on Earth becomes a buffet. Every safari company shuts down within a week. We've spent this entire video on legends that turned out to be real. Andrewsarchus is the opposite. It was real, and we made a legend out of one skull. Welcome to the world we never had to share with it. I'm Croc. See you in the next one.